The problem is that I care. Just when I thought I couldn't care anymore, just when I thought this man was finally out of my head and I never had to think about him again, just when I thought I couldn't care anymore, he goes out and he makes an amusement park called Beastland. How could I not care? This man, the ultimate come-up story on YouTube, from a boy making videos in his bedroom to becoming the biggest fucking person on earth. And along the way, he's given money, trees, water, sight, vision, money. He's just such a good guy. He makes chocolate fun and everything nice. And just like everything fun and nice, if you went up to me at the beginning of the year and said, oh, by the way, Mr. Beast is going to make an amusement park at the end of the year, I'd be like, oh, okay. And then you said, oh, by the way, that amusement park is going to be in Saudi Arabia, I would be like, oh, okay, wait, what?
I'm opening a theme park in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on November 13th.
الحين قاعد اتجهز واشوف وش ممكن افوز فيه مع اخوياي، لان حاليا عندنا هدف واحد بس.
I don't think I need to tell you that Mr. Beast isn't exactly what comes to mind when you think of a Middle Eastern person. So why is this amusement park in the capital of Saudi Arabia? Basically, to summarize Beastland, it is a part of Riyadh Season, which is a part of Saudi Vision 2030. The simplest way I can describe Saudi Vision 2030 is it's basically Saudi Arabia's attempt to have economic wealth outside of oil. And they want to achieve this by, get this, 2030. It's a combination of social, economic, and patriotic growth and rebirth for the country, and right now, in order to attain a thriving nation without the need for oil, they've been giving a bunch of money to American entertainers to come to Saudi Arabia. Earlier this year, we had the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which got a bunch of North American comedians to come to Saudi Arabia and give their best material that wasn't about the royals or religion.
I've never seen so much traffic. Do you regret letting the women drive? It's just more people on the road.
And based on the poster for Riyadh Season, you can see what this event is all about. Mr. Beast, tennis players, Tom Brady. Like, I mean, it's fine. I just didn't expect Saudi Arabia to care about American football, like, in the slightest. But the biggest issue with Beastland isn't that it's in Saudi Arabia and not in America. I'm actually kind of glad it's not in America, if I'm being honest. But there's this itsy bitsy teensy weensy little problem happening in Saudi Arabia and a few other Persian Gulf countries called slavery. It's slavery. The issue's slavery. So if you're not aware, in a select few countries in the Middle East, there's this thing called the kafala system. To give you a rundown, immigrant workers are looking for jobs. There's jobs in Saudi Arabia. By the time the immigrant worker gets there, they're stripped of everything, including their passport, meaning they can't leave the country once they're there. And their lack of education and unfamiliarity in a foreign land is then exploited for cheap labor, if not free labor. So yeah, it's recognized as slavery, it's modern slavery. And me personally, I find that to be quite the ethical concern. But here's the big question. Did Mr. Beast use slaves in order to build Beastland? The truth is that I don't know, but I can infer. And I infer that when you build big things in another place that's known for using slaves to build big things, there's a chance that you might have used a few people that aren't, you know, the odds of you violating human rights aren't zero, but I don't have concrete proof. I don't have videos of people. Regardless, it is objective that Mr. Beast was paid a lot of money to promote tourism in Saudi Arabia. And he's doing this while they still have rampant slavery. Guess what? I caught a cold immediately after recording the video and lost most of my voice, but guess what? Okay, so you know how I literally just brought up the kafala system? The system in Saudi Arabia that's been around for over 50 years now? As it turns out, Saudi Arabia is actually in the process of getting rid of the kafala system like literal weeks ago. So it changes the context of a few things. For example, the main point I bring up in this video being slavery. If Saudi Arabia is moving on from slavery, where does that put the ethical concerns of Beastland? I'm not really sure. Do I think this immediately makes Saudi Arabia a very good place for people to work? Not exactly. But the biggest concern I had regarding Beastland was unethical labor. And as far as I'm concerned, there still could be unethical labor involved in Beastland, but it doesn't have that big S word now. Or maybe it does, who knows? I'm assuming it took more than a few weeks to make Beastland. Now, there's other concerns I could have brought up about Saudi Arabia, like freedom of speech. However, I don't think Mr. Beast concerns himself with that, so it wouldn't really be much of a hypocrisy compared to unethical labor. I'm not sure what the current status of the kafala system in Saudi Arabia is. Is it actually getting dismantled? Is it actually abolished now? I'm not entirely sure. I'm mostly just saying this so the video doesn't immediately age poorly. But to be fair, this is also one of those things you would want to age poorly because it's
Slavery. I have to go back to not speaking for prolonged periods of time now.
I mean, in the advertising, Mr. Beast himself says this is the craziest thing he's ever done.
This thing is the craziest thing I've ever done.
Even crazier than Beast Games and Squid Games. In fact, there's a few videos of people touring around Beastland showing you what it's like, which I'll tell you right now, it's very convenient for an American like me. So I guess we'll just see what it looks like then. And the first thing you see are these booths and trap shot, ring fling, hitting milk bottles, carnival games? I mean, you have some rides, don't really feel Mr. Beast inspired. Again, they kind of just look like carnival rides. And aside from the actual cyberpunk style of Mr. Beastland, I don't see much thematic correlation with the actual games and rides. Like, what the fuck is Mystery Box? You might also notice these monolithic towers that just rise above everything else in the park. I'm not sure what purpose they serve, maybe they provide lighting, and I guess they also just help not make the park feel as flat, because if you got rid of them, I mean, it's going to be a concrete wasteland. And even then, it's really empty. Even with the people, it's just a very barren concrete floor. They promote feastables with the caption, help fight... What does that say? Child labor? It's just a little hard to read because it's black text behind a black background, and also it's covered up by this feastable candy bar, which they had to do that on purpose. So it's just like, Saudi Arabia, I want you to help us fight child labor. Help us fight this child labor. I know you guys also want to help fight child labor. There's a few more games lying around, one called Make This Shot, which might be the most blunt name I've ever seen for any game. Just wait until you see the game beside it called Hoops. Unsurprisingly, Hoops is just a basketball game where you have to shoot a basketball and make a shot, and Make the Shot is a soccer game where you kick a ball in order to hit a Mr. Beast sign on a soccer goal. There's also this roller coaster called the Energizer, which again just doesn't really feel that Mr. Beasty to me. So I looked up to see if this roller coaster existed before Beastland, and unsurprisingly it did. It was also constructed a few years ago for something else in Saudi Arabia. It was just repurposed for Beastland. So what the fuck is going on here? This is just a fair. Like, if you're in America, this is just a state fair you can go to. There's nothing unique about this that you can't go to or haven't already gone to. And at this point, I realize there's something I missed about this entire event. It's only around for 45 days. November 13th to December 27th. By the time I'm recording this, Mr. Beast Land will still be around, but only for a limited time. Obviously, he makes a tweet where he says, oh, by the way, this is only around for 45 days, but in the main promotion, he doesn't show that at all. I don't really know if that's misleading, but it definitely didn't make it feel like it was just a fair. Like, yeah, I could have connected the dots where it's like, oh, it's for Riyadh season, it's only around for a season, but I would rather just Beastland say it outright and be like, oh yeah, this is just like a limited carnival thing. And maybe I'm giving it less value by calling it a fair or a carnival, but that's basically what it is. I mean, there's like a giant prize wall, which he says it's like, oh, it's the biggest prize wall, it's one of the biggest prize walls ever. Who cares? Like, I can win prizes at a fair too. Now, there is a second more original aspect to this park called the Beast Arena, and they're much more original than the fair games you saw at the beginning of Beastland. There's one called Escape, and well, that's just a maze, but there is Drop Zone, and it's a memory game where you have to compete against other people, and if you fail the memory game, you get sent through a trapdoor, which, oh, that's in Beast Games. All the people that went through trapdoors, oh, it's just like Beast Games. Bungee jumping? It's just bungee jumping? Was that in the Mr. Beast video? I'm not really sure. There's one where you get on a zip line, and while you're going down the zip line, you have to throw a couple bags onto these targets, and the closer you get to the bullseye, the more points you get. Again, not really sure why this is considered Mr. Beast inspired, but I see the vibe. There's a 4-player game where you have to press buttons, and whoever presses the buttons the fastest wins. Then the last one I could find was one called Tower Siege, and honestly, this one might be my favorite. You have a catapult that you put a ball in, and then you close the gate and put a combination of settings in order to launch the ball like 100 feet away in order to put it into these tubes. Think of it as like a very, very elaborate skee ball. Again, I don't really know how this is Mr. Beast inspired, but it's pretty damn cool actually. Maybe I'm just simple to please, but I like launching things at a very far distance, and that's exactly what this game is.
There's also a few other games I just didn't bother to mention, but one I did forget about that I actually knew was one called Blocks, which is based off, again, Mr. Beast's first episode in Beast Games, where you stack a bunch of blocks blocks and, oh, try not to get the blocks to fall over. This is the only one I actually directly know from a Mr. Beast video from my experience.
Also, on the first day, Mr. Beast came out into a crowd filled with people. Mr. Beast also mentions that the games have a certain amount of points, and whoever gets the most points at Beast Games gets a grand prize of, I don't know how much, it's like $1 million in Saudi Arabian money, which honestly, it is a pretty good way to get people to come back to the fair instead of just doing a one and done. If you tell people, hey, the more you come to this park, you can get this big prize, I mean, people are gonna come back every day, at least in theory. Otherwise, all the footage I saw was just really barren, like comically barren. Unless you really want me to talk about the Middle Eastern Dunkin' Donuts or 9/11 pizza. That's an actual place. And I'm gonna be honest, in some of the videos I saw, people were having fun. They actually did enjoy Beastland. This isn't me saying kids in Saudi Arabia can't have fun and they can't have amusement parks. If anything, if I can see any sort of good come from this event, it's that Mr. Beast is at least willing to put an amusement park in somewhere that isn't the United States. At the end of the day, I'm not upset at Saudi Arabia, I'm more so upset at the government. And most problems boil down to the government sucking anyways. But a part of me also knows Mr. Beast doesn't do something like this in Saudi Arabia without the government paying him. Same goes for those comedians performing in Riyadh. If the government shows up at your comedy festival, like it's one thing to entertain citizens, it's another thing to present yourself in front of the literal royals at a comedy festival. Like they're literally just paid fuck you money to talk about how great something like Saudi Arabia is. I'm not saying it's a bad place, I'm just saying there's a little bit more incentive to say that it's a wonderful place. You know, just seeing this, that interview with Bill Burr, those influencers that go to Dubai, it makes the Persian Gulf feel to entertainers what to politicians.
Hey guys, it's me, Nomad, except I lost my voice, so embarrassing, because I still have things to say about Mr. Beast. I noticed in a lot of the promotional material for Riyadh season, he's more orange. I mean, not just Riyadh season, just like in general. I think he's becoming more orange. Obviously, we're still trying to get more data on this story to see if Mr. Beast really is turning more orange, but from the looks of it, it could be entirely possible. But also, if a helicopter flew above me and down came a Saudi Arabian man saying, "Hey, Nomad, we know who you are. Do you want to go to Mr. Beast land?" I would probably say no, but there are some things I like about Beastland. I actually like the attempt at a cyberpunkish aesthetic. I appreciate him adding a theme to a theme park. I feel like a lot of theme parks fail to do that sometimes. Also, there's these statues scattered around trying to promote this animated series that Mr. Beast also has. Like, they have these life-size models of this Mr. Beast figure that is probably going to be used to sell more toys. There was like another one, I don't remember. It wasn't the Beast itself, it was like some gorilla thing. I feel like the Beast Lab thing is meant to represent a mascot for Mr. Beast so he doesn't constantly have to shove his face everywhere. But, you know, everyone only cares about Mr. Beast's face. You know, he's the one that's giving all the money. That's the face people want to see. Now, I will say this. I haven't seen any pornography of the Mr. Beast Lab Beast. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? You be the judge. I'm just saying, if you stick your little willy out and you try to jerk off to that Mr. Beast statue, are you condoning slavery?
The truth is that the theme park was novel. It wasn't aimed towards American audiences, and Mr. Beast just uploaded on his Twitter the new promotion for Beast Games.
This thing is the craziest thing I've ever done.
He himself has already moved past his own amusement park that's still going on. He's just moving at such a rapid pace. He knows this isn't for his Western audience. He pushed it just a little bit for the spectacle, but now that that part of the country has Mr. Beast Land to amuse themselves with, he's just moving on to Beast Games so he can go back to his Western appeal. There's a part of me that wants to bring a deeper meaning into all of this, maybe to just give myself some sort of gratification for even trying to talk about this in the first place. Like, I was going to compare Mr. Beast to Infinite Jest, even though I never read the book, so I don't even know how accurate the comparison would be. The only thing that draws people's attention to Mr. Beast is the same thing that draws people's attention to reality shows. A big fucking cash prize that you have at least 0.00001% chance of winning. No matter the time period, the algorithm, whatever. As long long as you just offer the illusion of wealth to someone, they'll watch. And if you offer a prize at your Beastland amusement park, of course it's going to be a success. And if it isn't, well, damn. I think if you present yourself in front of the camera, the three most profitable things you can offer is money, nostalgia, and news. Okay, here's my idea for the most profitable show in the world. It will constantly take place 30 years ago with a cash prize adjusted for inflation. And the game show is about a person trying to become president of that episode. So all the meanwhile, you have voting odds at the bottom telling you who's more likely to win that you can gamble on. I think if somebody did that, they'd have the most watchable show in the world. Even though Mr. Beast wasn't doing as much 5 years ago, I definitely saw a lot more ambition in him. Now I feel like he does the things that he does because it's the next step rather than something that was his idea. Again, if you told me this year Mr. Beast was going to make an amusement park, I would have believed you. And if you told me next year that Mr. Beast was going to make real estate, I would also believe you. Because he's already built houses, but to a further extent, he could just build tiny homes on some plot of land. I mean, if he's the one that provides affordable housing, then so be it. I mean, I just wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that does it. Because I doubt he's slowing down anytime soon. I see even more light drift from his eyes every day somehow. I think I've literally just created too much apathy for him. I'm not even gonna lie with you, I think Beastland sucks. Some things I didn't mention, the waiting lines were far too long for what they provided. There was a video I saw where a guy had like 20 people in front of him maybe, and he had to wait like an hour and a half for whatever he was doing, which is insane because Beastland's only open for like 8 hours a day, so at that rate you'd only get to do like 4 things. And that's if you're there the entire time. I doubt most people are. And regardless of how much you're paying for it, that's just such a waste of time. I don't know. There was also a few other YouTubers I saw involved in Riyadh season. KSI and Speed did a promotional video for the event. Also, Dream was at Beastland for some reason. I'm assuming he was paid to go there and just do stuff. And unsurprisingly, every single creator involved in this event gave a really uncanny vibe. At least with the commercial, it felt more like a Japanese commercial rather than just propaganda. Nothing actually felt like propaganda. Well, maybe the Dream videos. It felt like propaganda for Beastland. So with that, I think we have all reached our capacity of caring about Beastland. I certainly have. You probably have. A lot of people have already clicked off the video at this point, so I think we'll just call it here.